are talking about and giving the main highlights about e-learning. But what is e-learning? When we are talking about e-learning, normally people speaks about distance learning. But in fact, distance learning has generations, and these generations, they have been mostly focused during the 20th century. We find out 4 generations. One which goes from the middle of the 19th century to the 70s, which were made by correspondence courses. Regular correspondence, offering information by books and written documents. The second generation, it was the appearing of open universities from the 70s to the 80s. And the third generation was courses supported in video cassettes and TV schools. But the most important, let's say, revolution generation, it was in the 90s, with the online learning and e-learning. But what is in fact e-learning? E-learning is an emerging culture in information. It has been computer-based learning, distance learning, online learning, distributed learning, web-based learning, internet-based learning, b-learning. And all of these, let's say, evolutions, they are leading to a v-learning. Is that so? Let's have a look. In fact, e-learning generations are in 3 stages. E-learning 1.0, which the teaching activity was mainly deliver documents by email. The second step was from about 2004, when the Web 2.0 was showing up and putting us the challenge of interactivity, and in fact it was an asynchronous activity using platforms and so on. But today we have a most different learning process, and it's categorized as e-learning 3.0 with synchronous but bidirectional activities, of course complementary the other asynchronous activities. We are surely talking today about multimedia, distance and presence learning format supported by online tutoring, formative evaluation and mobility. But the most important difference is synchronous activities and multimedia. As you can see, there is enormous space for second life in this process, because it's the big difference. It's synchronous, it's 3 dimensions, it's multimedia. But when we are talking about e-learning 3.0, are we following just straight Stephen Downes' point of view? In fact, not. We have a focus on education process, we use new methodologies with multimedia, online tutoring and formative evaluation. And these 4 ingredients are the most important ingredients of the process. We can say that the main tools for e-learning 2.0 are forums, podcasts, pedagogical games, wikis, web blogs, web quests, web quizzes, web tools and mobile learning. And for e-learning 3.0 we have different tools: chats, conference calls, e-meeting, virtual classrooms, video diffusion, webcasts, e-roundtables and e-workshops. As you can see, these tools are not ones against the other, they are complementary tools. But to do learning in a proper way, we have to integrate all of them. And from our experience, we cannot see only one tool that can integrate all. And what is finally e-learning? E-learning is a teaching process supported by electronic, multimedia and web technologies, interactive with asynchronous and synchronous activities in presence or distance learning, and mobile, wherever you are. So we can say that today we are digital teachers and we have digital learners. So, digital learning, digital teaching. The question is, e-learning today has changed as well. The concept is not as it was 5 years ago. Presence learning and distance learning complementing one to the other. No. Today, blended learning is some kind of asynchronous activities and synchronous activities. In one side asynchronous, in the other side synchronous. This means that the synchronous activities can be presence in a classroom or just face-to-face in a virtual environment. And the question is, are we changing from e-learning to de-learning? From mixed learning to digital learning, the concept? I should say not. And I should say not. Why? Because in 2001, Rosenberg, in a futurist or futurologist approach, said, in the near future, a more radical change will appear. It will be the end of the E. It will not be the e-learning that we are saying that it will be the future. The future is learning, because it's impossible to concept that in our classrooms or in distance learning, one or the other, we will not use all these technological and new methodologies to support it. Some questions about this subject?